Hey y'all, I'm back with the Project Life and Scrapbook process video, and I'm going to be using the March 2017 kits for this week's spread and also for the scrapbook process that I'm doing. I'm using a 9 by 12 page protector, so this is obviously a 9 by 12 spread, and I'm starting by looking through the cards to see which ones are going to work for me. I'm going to set those out and pretty quickly decide on which ones I want to use, and then I'm going to start adhering my photos. So for this particular 4x6 card, it's probably supposed to be used vertically, but I actually wanted to use it horizontally, and so I decided just to cover up the element that said hello and use it pretty much for the background, which was like a white piece of cardstock with black triangles on it. I'm using a lot of the newest Dear Lizzie collection. Those ephemera pieces came in our Project Life kit, and then I'm also using some of the Pink Fresh Live More collection. I am challenging myself just to use the Project Life kit for this week's spread, just because I thought it would be a fun challenge, and I did succeed in that. I did only use the Project Life kit for March 2017. So in our Project Life kit, we also got these tickets that are from the Dear Lizzie collection, and I used one of those on top of one of her little die cuts that she created. And then one of my favorite pieces is that little tag with the girl, the sunglasses, and the bun. And I thought that was cute because the picture right next to that is of my daughter, and she's acting like she's putting lipstick on. And I've been loving adding things like almost as if they're hanging on either a photo or a card and then stapling them. And so I did that to the bottom. I layered two pieces and then stapled them. And I'm pulling out some of the puffy stickers from the Pink Fresh Studio Live More collection, and I found one that I thought would work for that photo. And then I'm going to add a couple more little elements from that same little sticker sheet. And then I'm going to quickly finish up this particular spread, and then I'm going to go ahead and move on to my scrapbook process. Had to add a couple little more puffy stickers, and then that's pretty much it. So for this particular layout, I decided that I wanted to use this photo of my daughter she's actually looking at some of my scrapbook pages that I've created. And this was a little while back, but I had an extra photo of her, and so I grabbed that and decided to scrapbook it. And I'm struggling with this paper because I thought there was a way to cut it diagonally, but then I was like, mathematically, you can't do that. And so I decided just to cut it with my scissors, and then I could get the same sort of look. I just thought there would be an easier way to do it. So I often cut my papers, but then I don't like the way that I cut them with scissors, and then I don't like the way that they look, and so I ended up trimming that one with, or the first paper with my trimmer. But otherwise, I'm not too picky about that, but every now and then that kind of stuff does bother me. So right away when I saw this pattern paper by Shamel Lane, it's the Little by Little collection, I knew that I wanted to cut up those words, just as probably I'm sure a lot of you have thought about that as well. And so I decided just to use a bunch of different words for my title this time. And I'm just going to cut those up, and I want to get a mixture of colors, and I mainly want to focus on the color scheme that I'm going for, which pretty much all of those colors matched the scheme that I was going for. And then I found this other paper by Paige Evans called, I don't know what it's called, but I know that the collection is Oh My Heart, and I decided to add that just as another little layering piece behind my photo. I'm going to go ahead and put my large triangle piece down and then add a couple little triangular elements in the top right and bottom left hand corners. And I'm going to staple my layers together, which I do sometimes, and most of the time I try to cover up the staples, but this time I didn't really worry too much about that, and I honestly didn't pay attention to it or even notice the staples. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere down those words, and then I'm going to start with the embellishing portion. So I'm adding a few of the Oh My Heart floral pieces that we got in our, I believe it was our main kit. And then I will move to adding some stickers here in a little bit. But I did think about adding one of those tickets that I also added in my Project Life spread, but I ended up not doing that. These are the little leatherette ephemera pieces or stickers, I'm sorry, from the Live More collection by Paintbrush, and I added a couple of those little triangular elements at the bottom right hand corner and top left. And then I am looking at this sticker sheet by Schmel Lane to see if there's anything I want to add. And I did find a couple of little clouds to add, and I thought that turned out super cute. And now I'm adding some of the Paintbrush Live More phrases. I'm also looking at this little container of rubber shapes from that same Paintbrush Studio collection. And I am going to I did add maybe one or two of those, but I'm also going to add one of the pieces of flair that we got. And then just to kind of wrap up those words, I decided to add two of the Paintbrush words at the top and the bottom. And then I'm just kind of looking to see if there's anything else I want to add, but that pretty much sums up the layout. I hope that you guys gain some inspiration, and let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys next time.